Our text is in Romans 2, 6 and 7. For he will repay accordingly to each one's deeds. To those who by patiently doing good seek for glory and honor and immortality, he will give eternal life. Okay, this is about a bird. I'm going to start out with I want you to answer this by raising your hand if you think you know which bird I'm talking about. Blank are most active at night, as their eyes allow them to see up 100 times more better than a human can see in dim light. They also turn their heads nearly 270 degrees. Okay, give me, if you think you know what it is, Miliana, give me the last letter in the name. Okay. You think you know, Milo? Give me the middle letter in the name. Okay. Anyone else? Mercy, what's the first letter?
O.
So what does that spell?
Owl.
An owl. Owls are most active at night, as their eyes allow them to see 100 times better than a human can in the dim light like it is today. They can also turn their heads nearly 270 degrees. I can't hardly turn mine 180. But can you imagine if I could turn my head all the way around like this and all the way around like this without turning my shoulders? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? However, they cannot move their eyes up and down or sideways in their socket. Okay, everyone look straight ahead and look up. Don't move your head. Keep your head facing straight forward. Look up with your eyes. Now look down. Now look to your left. Look to your right. Owls can't do that. It's like their eyeballs are just glued in their sockets. So for them to look from here over to here, they have to turn their whole head. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? A barn owl can hear sounds 10 times fainter than you can. So in other words, if I dropped a toothpick on the carpet here, a barn owl could hear it hit the carpet. Face to front. Therefore, if the barn owl can hear that good, it can catch a mouse in the barn in total darkness. Can you imagine closing your eyes and running through your house and catching your cat without seeing it and not running into anything, or your dog? A barn owl can. The flight feathers of owl's wing are soft, and the fringed edge of these help it to fly quiet to unsuspecting prey by muffling the noise of air passing through it. An owl will attack a skunk from behind, sinking its razor-sharp talons into the skunk's head. Thus, the skunk does not have a chance to spray the smelly chemical on the owl. The skunk's stinky spray wouldn't make much difference to the owl anyway, because the owl doesn't have a very good sense of smell.
Huh.
That's kind of interesting, isn't it? We were at camp one time. We were in the girls' village. And it was nighttime. There was just a light on over here. And we couldn't hear it. There's nothing. I forget who was standing with it. Probably one of the pathfinders. About 2 foot above my head came a great horned owl. Flew above my head. And we never knew he was there till we saw him. And he flew down in the ravine there by the cafeteria. And we could barely see him in the nightlight that was burning. But we couldn't even hear him. You could still hear the crickets and the night animals making noise, but you couldn't hear that owl going over top of him. And he had his old wings stretched out, and he just like my hand is flying, no noise at all. That's pretty cool, I think. Okay. How many kinds of owls do you think there are in the world? How many, Juby? You don't know? Really?
109.
Nope. Good?
100.
Nope.
70.
Nope. Milo?
10.
Nope. Miliana?
12.
Nope.
A million.
How many?
A million.
That's a little high. There are over 250 different kinds of owls in the whole world, ranging the size of a 5-inch owl that stands about this tall in Central and South America, to the great horned owl that stands about this tall. A great horned owl will hunt for little owls even for food. Owls are good to humans in that they destroy many of the pesky rodents that cause problems in different ways. Owls will eat mice. They'll eat shrews. They'll eat chipmunks. They'll eat squirrels. They'll eat other little animals and stuff that can cause problems. Sometimes they eat animals that we really like squirrels and chipmunks, but that's just kind of their nature. I enjoy hearing the hoot of an owl when I'm out camping in the woods, because I know that a night guard is on duty. Jesus made the owls as he did all of the other creatures. He gave them instincts to know how to survive. God has given each of us talents. Maybe you could use some of these talents to know and understand him better. By sharing Jesus' love with our friends, we are able to give the devil a surprise attack. Ask God today to help you. Invite a friend to accept Jesus today as his or her personal Savior. So, what basically that's saying, if you meet somebody at school, invite them to come to church with you. Invite them to come to Sabbath school or wherever you go to church. That'd be kind of neat if all of a sudden they showed up, wouldn't it? Let's bow our heads for prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you for the beautiful day. Thank you for all the owls you've given us and sounds they've made, to watch them, to hear them at night. They're such a neat animal. Please be with us as we study and learn about different things tonight. Help us to be good boys and girls and help us to draw closer to you. We love you, Jesus. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the Cicero Adventure flag and to the pledging law for which it stands. Because Jesus loves me, I will always do my best. Be obedient, be pure, be true, be kind, be respectful, be attentive, be helpful, be cheerful, be thoughtful, be reverent.
Order arms. You may be seated.
Good job, Preston.
Okay.
Awesome. His feathers are from an owl, but or from a bird. Probably from an owl.
Eyes are real.
No, his eyes are plastic. They're just pretend.
These are real.
Nope, the beak is plastic too. He just looks a lot like a real owl, and I thought he was kind of cool, like the great horned owl with his feathers up there.
He's a little one.
He's a little one if he's a great horned owl, but maybe he's a fledgling. Okay, what kind of bird is an owl? Does anybody know what kind of a bird? Yeah, there's a certain kind of a bird. A raptor. Right. He's a bird of prey or a raptor. What does a raptor mean? Leland, you know what a raptor is? Anybody know what a raptor is? Oh, raptor. Does anybody know what a raptor is? I see your hand, but I'm trying to find somebody else that knows something. You know what a raptor is? Okay, what's a raptor?
A raptor is a kind of bird of prey that has eyes on the front of its head for spotting prey, a sharp teeth for eating prey, and talons for snatching at.
You can see his beak's kind of curved under here, and it's sharp. And he has talons. His talons are very sharp. His claws, they're called talons.
You know, if you got like a chocolate that's too hard or too tough, and you take your knife and your fork to tear it apart so you can eat it, that's what his beak does.
Tears it apart. He uses his feet and he uses his beak to do that. And Jimmy already told you what kind of animal. What do owls eat? What did Jimmy say?
Some owls actually eat fish.
They eat fish. You're right. What else?
They eat squirrels and chipmunks.
Squirrels and chipmunks. What else?
They sometimes can eat small kittens.
Yes, they can. They also will eat
Small other owls.
or
And
other
some
birds. Other birds. Yeah.
What makes you, what animal do you smell makes you, ew?
A skunk. Okay, those are some of the things that an owl eats. Can anybody tell me what a group of owls is called? You know, like you have a herd of cows, and there's names for groups of different kinds of critters. What is the owl group called?
It's,
It starts with a P.
it's one of the words they use over in England. It's kind of a big word.
Pupa?
Nope. Yeah.
Is it a pod?
Nope.
I was
It's called a parliament. They're called a parliament. That is what, over in England, that is like their House of Representatives, like we have in the United States. We have the House of Representatives and the senators and stuff. Theirs is called a parliament, and that's what they call a group of owls, is a parliament. Okay, the parents usually feed their babies. About what age do you think the baby owlets start flying and hunting for themselves? Any ideas?
forget.
Okay, how old do you
I
think?
got a question.
2 months?
You got it.
That's close. It's approximately around 2 months.
Do owls chew their food up or do they swallow it whole? Do they look very graceful and have lots of manners when they swallow it whole?
No.
They usually do it the head first. And
They tilt their head back and mom will drop that rat and they'll go swallow it and you see that tail, the last part that goes down their throat.
Okay, usually the baby owlets, they're called owlets, okay? Like babies are called, there's like pigs or piglets, and different animals have different names again for their babies, and they're called owlets. They usually start flying somewhere between 7 weeks to 12 weeks. So you were close with 2 months, that's in that time period. That would be 8 weeks, 2 months.
So if you were
So-
a baby owl and was born the first day of school, now you'll be flying.
What time of day do you usually see an owl? Yes,
At night.
at night, you're right. Owls fly at night. They have special feathers. Jimmy was kind of talking about that too. They have special feathers, so when they fly, you don't hear them. They can just fly right over your head and you would never know they were flying over your head. They're so quiet, the way their wings are made. That is how they can catch things out. Or if they see a mouse or something running around, they'll swoop down and grab them, and the mouse doesn't even know they're coming. So, yes,
Owls also sometimes eat frogs.
yes, they do. Sometimes they will eat frogs. Okay, where do owls usually lay their eggs? In the nest. And sometimes they will Oliver, I'm sorry, Milo,
In a tree trunk.
in a tree trunk. They'll find a hole in a tree trunk, and that's what your patch is gonna look like that you're gonna get. It's a picture of a tree with an owl sticking his head out the tree trunk. Okay, that's what your patch will look like. They make it in a tree trunk. Now some animals will make nests and they stay in the barn. And they usually lay eggs twice a year, 1 to 2 times a year. They'll lay eggs. Okay, we talked about their wings. They're specially adapted soft feathers that help them fly silently. They have ears. Their hearing is very sensitive and helps them locate their prey. They can hear, when they're up in a tree, they can listen and they hear a little mouse going through the leaves. Their hearing is so good. And then they can swoop down and grab them. Their eyes, Jimmy was talking about that. Their eyes are on the front of their heads, because that way they can see and spot the animals. They have telescope eyes, they can see a long distance. Binocular division is what they call it.
That'd be cool to have built-in binoculars, wouldn't it?
And they've got their talons, they're really sharp claws. This one's big, they've got sharp claws on him. So, okay. I said this is not a real owl, so, but
That's
anyway.
Hootie.
Huh?
That's Hootie.
That's Hootie, this is Hootie. I didn't know he had a name, but he's got a name, his name's Hootie. Alright, what we're gonna do tonight, guys, we've been talking about for a long time. Need you guys to all take a chair and go over to the table. Alright, I'm gonna pass down plates. Just pass them on down to the end of the row. Can you pass them down for me? Pass them on, pass them on. Give me the permanent markers in that cabinet. Everybody should just have one plate.
Need you to write your John Henry on the plate. No, Preston, if you write John Henry, I know it's yours. You know what that means when they say write your John Henry on your plate? You know what that means? That's an old Southern saying, means write your name on it. Or write your John Hancock.
Mine.
Anyway. Alright, get your names on there. You don't need to put your last, just your first. I don't think there's anybody else I don't think anybody has the same names around here, do you? Not last name, first names. There's no one here with the same first name.
Oh, cool.
Alright, what I'm going to give out to you guys are owl pellets. We didn't talk about that. Hold on, don't give them to him yet. Do you know what an owl pellet is?
Yeah.
How it's made? How's an owl pellet made, Milo?
All the fur and bones.
That's right, it's the fur and bones. When the owls swallow that food down, they cannot digest, since they don't have teeth to chew with. They swallow it whole, their body digests, but it does not digest the bones and fur. And so it collects in there, and then when they get so much or whatever, they have to, just like a cat with fur heads, they puke it back up. To put it not so nicely. It comes back up, and that little pellet has the bones and fur in it. Now, don't get grossed out, because these are handmade pellets. Somebody took bones, they took fur, they've been sterilized, so you're not going to get sick from them. I mean, I wouldn't be licking my hands or anything after touching this stuff. And after you get done tonight, we'll have you go wash your hands. But it's not going to make you sick touching this. So what you're going to need to do is, when we give these to you, you're going to open up the foil very carefully, and you're going to start digging in them.
Okay, and
Take one of those and pass those all down the row. Take one of these, and then pass the rest of them down.
you very carefully take them apart, because the bones are really little and they break really easy.
Now, we're going to take them all apart tonight, and then next week we're going to give you a sheet of paper that will actually show you, and you can look at the different bones and you can tell if it's a leg bone, or if it's a skull, or if it's a femur, or what part of the body it's, where it's from, or if it's a rib. But for this week, you're going to take them apart. You're going to lay the fur and stuff. Go ahead. You're going to lay the fur and stuff beside your plate and put all the bones on the plate, okay? And then when we get done, we'll take, you can go ahead and open them. Stand they won't bite, they don't hurt you. Honestly, they don't. They won't hurt you. Open them up.
They look like miniature baked potatoes.
Yeah, they look like baked potatoes.
Anybody got any butter?
No, yeah.
Did everybody get one? That it? Hey guys, Bubbles, Bubbles, this is one of those things you really need to take your time. Because if you get rambunctious, you'll lose something or it'll be broke, okay? It's one of the things you take your time, okay?
Keep it over your plate.
Just start pulling it apart.
You didn't get one of those blue things?
Looks like grass.
Does it run out of them? Here, I got more.
I can't.
Gotta be careful, you don't want to break the bones. Just pull a little bit of the grass off.
Glasses, I didn't get the pellets that had. You gotta start taking them.
It's just feathers and stuff.
Oh, you want the tinfoil back? Oh, I'm sorry.
You want this, Lily?
I know, look at it.
Oh, there's a bone. See, there's your first bone.
Wow. Have you found any bones?
You found a bone.
I
Oh,
found
you did too. See this?
Use your tweezers, honey.
A leg bone, probably. Just, you gotta look careful. There's all kinds of them there.
Just try to shave a little bit of the fur off.
How do you do it?
I have no idea. Don't chop it, Rachel.
Oh, come on, guys.
Now if it don't work, what you do, close your eyes and say ah.
Mr. Jimmy's gonna feed you the thing.
See how I'm doing it? Carefully, just start pulling
Careful,
on it.
Linnea, be careful.
Don't break the bones.
You gotta be careful. There's a bone there. They're real tiny.
Before, we've never had to
Slow down.
You just use their fingers, so you're lucky.
Well, the fingers might work better.
The fingers would work better, actually.
Rebecca's getting hers apart, Anaya. Look at that.
Yeah.
She's using her hands and she's having better success.
Look at the skull.
Cool one.
What'd you find? Oh, look at that.
Oh, cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, you
Look at
did.
that. That's
I'm
awesome,
making
Anaya.
this bone.
Jaw too, isn't it?
I'm using my hands.
You see what Anaya's got? It's a skull. It's like the head.
I have that.
You do too? Well, do like Rebecca. See how Rebecca's using her hands? It's just feathers. There's no blood. There's no guts.
The top part of the skull.
It's just feathers.
Yep, that's a rib.
I found my first bone. I found a little tiny bone.
Wow, Rebecca's found some stuff.
See his front two teeth?
Nice, Rebecca.
That is so cool. Look at that. What?
I got a whole head.
Oh,
Me too.
cool.
I'm gonna itch my nose.
Audrey, look.
Careful, don't knock your feathers off.
This bone.
This is the cool part.
Audrey, look. Audrey.
She found a whole
I found a whole head too.
I still got my bone.
Oh, that's so
Anaya's is awesome.
I found a crack.
Anybody found a noggin yet?
Yeah,
I found a
she
whole
found the
head.
top of a skull.
I found like a whole head.
Ew, what is that
You can
thing?
get all the feathers off.
Don't throw it.
What is that
I
thing?
found it too.
You're supposed to dig in it with your hands?
Yes.
Be gentle.
Anaya, be careful with that bundle. That's a bunch of bones.
What is this?
That's part of the.
Now you get looking in here.
That's a jawbone. Look, there's like a.
There.
What is this one? Is this a
See,
bird?
make sure you go through this really
Oh my
good.
goodness!
There's lots of little bones in there.
I found something.
Look at that thing.
found a lot of something.
What?
I
Lots of something's in there.
It's like teeth, and then there's like a.
Like a beak and then like a, oh, that's a claw or what? No, those are teeth.
Yeah, that's the beak.
Oh, I just touched it. Ew.
Look at that thing.
Uh-huh.
What is
I
this?
found a
It's part of a skull.
What is this?
Probably a mouse.
What is that?
See some teeth? Oh, I don't know. That's
Maybe
weird.
they got it's something with a sharp
Oh my
mouth.
goodness.
That's the bottom of their
That's a
mouth.
mole.
Oh, cool.
That's a mole.
Look at
It's got
that.
a big
Isn't
sharp
that
tooth
cool?
on it.
Doesn't that look like a mole?
This looks like the same bottom as yours.
Give it to her, and I'm gonna get a picture of her holding it.
Here, Nan. Hold
And then
this.
you hold it so I can get your picture.
I found a
Hold it up so I can see it.
Don't push the thing up. You gotta keep it down. It looks kind of like a mole, doesn't it? Look at her face.
I know.
Smile big.
This is going up on the screen at the end of the school year for investiture.
She's like, I'm gonna die.
What else did you
Through all
find?
of this because you may find more. Because you got to pull it all apart because there's little teeny tiny bones in there. Keep
How about you
pulling.
break the bones?
Well, if you do, you do. Don't worry about it. Just try not to. Be careful. Do it carefully.
Rachel, you might need, or Rebecca, you might need help, Rachel.
That one. I can help you.
What'd you find? What'd you find?
You gotta get your paws up in here on that. Please.
Show me your. Let's see. What did you find?
This thing.
Can you pull this a little bit? Is there anything in? Yep, there's something in here. Oop, lost it. It's somewhere in here. I can feel it with my fingers. Believe it or not, there's a little tiny bone there.
Here.
You believe I can feel that bone with my little fat fingers?
Jimmy, should we give him the little wooden sticks too?
Can see that? That looks like part of the backbone. Oh, it is. That's part of the backbone.
What's this?
A little tiny bone. See, you found that one? Look, there's another bone in there. Yeah. Now wait a minute. You gotta get your paws up in here too. I'm not gonna take all this apart for you.
I don't like this.
Oh, quit whining, Preston.
I don't like this. What?
See, there's bones in here. Hey, see how? Hey, Goosey.
I
See
touch
how
it.
I'm putting my fingers in here just slowly?
What is that?
Be real gentle. Oop, there's another bone. See that?
I'm losing it with my hands.
That looks like a skull in
Look at my
there.
hand.
Get your fingers in there. It's all clean. You like playing in the dirt at home? You don't like playing in the dirt at home? You don't make mud pies? You found some nice little bones in there.
Mr. Jimmy, I found a skull.
Did you? Cool.
I found a claw. What is this teeth? A skull. I found a teeth. Look, Audrey, look what I found. I'm losing it.
Feathers off. You're doing good, Rachel. Just keep going.
You get yours done. Let's help Marley. I'll help Marley. You get yours done. You help Marley.
I brought mine.
You think you got everything? Okay, get the fur off of the plate. See the fur that you still have on your plate?
You got a skull.
Oh, another skull.
Okay, you want to help your sister?
Oh, that's a big claw.
You want to help Rachel?
Oh my god.
What?
That was a replay. I don't know why
What?
you just mixed these up. Okay. I want to wash my hands.
Okay, not yet.
Guys, you gotta take the fur and go through it because sometimes there's little tiny bones. You have to feel for the bones in there. And once you feel for it, if you don't find it, you're all right. Go back to your table. Yes. There it is.
Yes, it is.
The kids got and they laid them out according to what was the ribs, the backbone, the leg bones, hip bones, jaws,
Those are mice.
skeletons. And somebody got really creative and came up with all the bones for a critter, head and all the stuff.
Now, they might not be from the right critter, but the skeleton's there.
Yeah. And then this one they just laid them out and marked what they were. Preston, front and center. We're gonna go ahead and